Hello everyone, welcome to ITLS Academy. It's a great platform to learn everything from the comfort of your home. Let's start. Let me introduce myself. I'm your mentor, Gitanjali Jha. I'm a content creator, storyteller, visual merchandiser, corporate trainer, and an author. With over 15 years of cross-functional experience across leading brands like H&M, Shoppers Stop, Godrej, and Future Group, I specialize in transforming ideas into impactful stories, whether through the visual design, training programs, or the written words. As a seasoned trainer and mentor, I have conducted pan-India workshops on soft skills, technology, and leadership, touching the lives of employees across retail and service industries. I have also served as a guest lecturer at NIFT and Vogue Institute and contributed to non-profit education initiatives through Unadi. Trust me, working as a volunteer or with a non-profit organization help you broaden your perspective, and it helps you as much as you help others. Try it sometimes. I am also the author of 2 published fiction novels, F Factor and Love Arranged, and hold academic credentials in fashion technology from NIFT, and MBA from NIRM, and certifications in digital marketing from Google and content design course from ECT Delhi. That's about myself. Now let's start with. Today we'll be learning about a very interesting topic, strategic human resource management. Till now, we have covered the people perspective of HRM functions, right? So, what is HRM? Why it is important? Roles and responsibilities of HRM. What is human capital management? Who is an HR practitioner? Labor laws in HRM. Roles and responsibilities of a frontline manager and international HRM. So, this covers the people perspective of HRM. Now, from this video onwards, we'll be talking about human resource strategies. So, how human resource management strategizes its function to meet the business needs, right? So, what is strategic HRM? Strategic human resource management is the process of aligning HR policies and practices with an organization's long-term strategic goals to achieve business objectives. So, traditional HRM basically covered the admin function of HR, but with the evolvement of business, the role of HR also widened, and now HRM is an integral part of the business. So they also need to form strategies. It moves HR beyond administrative tasks to a strategic partner role. So your role as an HRM has become much more significant than the role what HR did as a traditional HRM person, right? So strategic HRM focuses on attracting, developing, and retaining talent to drive competitive advantage, improve business performance, and create a culture that supports the company's overall vision. Now, let's understand the process of strategic HRM. First of all, we need to identify the HRM strategies. And how do you identify them? By finding the sources of competitive advantage. How as an HR you will help your organization to have an edge, right? So you have to find that first. Then you have to find what all HRM strategies you will apply and implement in your company to help it reach its goals better. Once you have identified your strategies, you have to implement the HR strategies with discussion with your management team, then educate about these strategies and its importance to the team members and all the employees so that they understand why we are doing what we are doing, right? Till we don't know why, the motivation level does not come. So, you always have to explain when we are implementing something new, something different, why we are implementing it, because people are always resistant to change. Everybody loves to be in their comfort zone. So once they know that this will help them achieve better career growth, it will help them reach their goals in a faster way, they will be more willing to adapt to new strategies, right? Once the strategies are implemented, this needs to be monitored and evaluated, right? And then scanning the environment, how our strategies are helping us improve our performance and how it is impacting the overall environment, the work culture, the morale of the employees, and so on, right? Now, how does strategic HRM differ from traditional HRM? Traditional HRM focuses on operational tasks and day-to-day administration, right? For example, attendance, time log, payroll, how the employees are working, whether they are following the protocol, and so on. SHRM takes a strategic orientation with several key distinctions such as focus and time frame. Now, traditional HRM concentrates on short-term operational activities, while SHRM adopts long-term perspective focused on future needs. When we create a strategy, we always keep the long-term in our mind. So, think about the bigger picture, right? The former responds reactively to issues as they arise. So, traditional HRM will solve the issues as they come. There is a grievance, they will manage the grievance. If there is any discrimination, they will talk to the person, listen to them and manage that. But strategic HRM proactively think of all the issues which can come in the organization and plans accordingly, right? So it is more proactive than the traditional HRM. How it differs in approach and orientation? Traditional HRM handles administrative functions separately from business strategy. So it is like business strategy is one function, HRM is one function, whereas SHRM integrates both. The strategies of HR is integrated with organizational strategy plan so that there is better alignment, right? This integration positions HR as part of leadership teams, fully aware of both short and long-term company objectives. So, earlier, in traditional HRM, HR is a support function, whereas in strategic HRM is the part of the company where they play an important role in planning and formulating the strategies of the company along with the team, right? So your role has become more important now. You are more responsible and you are more accountable, as with responsibility comes accountability, right? And what is the role in organization? Traditional HRM positions HR managers as administrators. As we told, their main function is to administer everything, monitor. Whereas SHRM elevates them to the management position where they are contributing to the business strategy development, right? So, are you excited to learn all about the strategies? Yes. Let's do it. The strategic context of HRM. So, before building your HRM strategies, you should know what all to consider when you are making HRM strategies, right? So, first is your learn more and more about your organization. What is its business strategy? What is the mission of the organization? What is its vision? What are the systems which are operating here? What they are planning to upgrade on? And how you will promote teamwork with your strategies. These are what you have to consider as internal factors. Now, what are external factors which determine the strategic context of HRM? Market practice, what your competitors are doing, what is the latest trend in the market, how you can help empower your people to feel part of the company, to make them feel valued and keep their motivation level high. Then culture of the company, culture of the region, culture of the state, culture of the country, where the organization is based. You need to always consider cultural perspective so that no sentiments is hurt. Then how you are going to elevate your role from an admin to the leader, and obviously performance management based on data so that it is fair and non-biased, right? Now, what are the key principles of strategic HRM? What all you need to consider when you are making your HR strategies? First of all is alignment, right? So, strategies helps you align all your goals as one. So, there is no separate function. Everybody is working for the common goal, and it helps achieve our target much better. Remember, team together we all achieve more, right? So HR activities like recruitment, training, compensation, and performance management are directly linked to and support the company's overall strategy and long-term goals. As I said, everybody work as a team, everybody knows what we are working towards, everybody knows the bigger picture, motivation level is higher, so there is less admin work and more leadership work, right? And then HR works as a strategic partner. Now they are working as partner, not somebody who is sitting in a corner just administrating everything, right? You are also partner of your organization who is helping towards the organization's strategic goals like expansion, reaching more customers, or making your company best in the market as best employer, and so on. There can be varied goals based on different organizational goals, right? So HR professionals actively participate in developing and executing business strategies rather than just executing administrative functions. So with the introduction of strategic HR, the role of HR becomes much more interesting, more challenging, and more focused. No more it is a boring admin job, right? Now, talent focused. SHRM emphasizes using human capital as a strategic asset, not as a liability, to gain a competitive edge through skilled and committed employees. Once your work culture is set, workforce is positive, employees become more committed, and they work towards gaining more skills. Training and development becomes smoother, people are more willing to learn, more flexible, so your work becomes easier as an HR. Now, the strategic HRM is performance driven. It aims to boost organization performance by aligning employee efforts with business objectives, right? Leading to increased productivity and success. When HR team is also working towards motivating people, strategizing things, and helping employees achieve their goals, obviously achieving goals become much more easier, because every employees know that HR is watching us and helping us towards achieving our target, right? Culture and flexibility. It focuses on building a culture that promotes innovation, flexibility, and a positive work environment that aligns with the company's strategic aims. Now, once you want to be a company which is fast-paced, which is growing consistently, your culture needs to promote innovation and flexibility, right? So, as an HR, you have to build that culture where every idea is heard, no matter how small or how big it is, right? So employees are encouraged to share new ideas. How can they help improve the company? Feedbacks are welcomed, right? And it is data informed, because data does not lie. Data driven performance management helps us minimize biasness and partiality. So you perform, you are rewarded, right? Effective SHRM uses data and key performance indicators to make informed decisions and adjust strategies to achieve better outcomes. Now, what are the benefits of strategic human resource planning? We learned how we need to create strategies, how we can contribute more towards company strategic goals. Now, why we are learning this, why we are making so much effort? Because it is very, very beneficial for our company and our overall growth, right? So number one, it reduces turnover. Once your employees are well connected, motivated, learning everything, they are innovating, obviously turnover rates reduces. And as you know, retention rate is much lower than hiring and training new employees. So overall it reduces the cost for companies. So the bottom line of the company is much better once turnover rate is less. And it improves employee engagement. So employees are more connected to each other, they participate more, they give new ideas, they are open to feedbacks. Overall environment is very conductive for working. It enhances productivity. Once your employees are fully engaged, they feel part of the company. Obviously, their productivity increases, goals are achieved, everybody goes home happier. Yes, your company's brand image improves, and once the brand reputation is better, it attracts superior talent. So you get a better pool of workforce to choose from. You are the chooser, not the other way. It helps enact better policies which benefit each and everybody. The workers are happy, the mid-management is happy, the senior management is happy, and overall the organization growth looks very healthy. And once everything falls in place, business interactions are minimum, right? That's why we are putting so much efforts to shift from the traditional HRM to strategic HRM. So once your employee asks why we are making this policy, you have to explain these points. That's why, right? It is going to help you as an employee. Always keep the bigger picture in mind. Why we need strategic HRM? As we saw, the benefits of strategic HRM, it drives performance. By ensuring the HR practices are in sync with business goals, companies can enhance employee performance and productivity. It attracts and retains talent. Strategic alignment helps in recruiting and retaining the top talent needed to achieve long-term success, right? It enables adaptation. Everybody is more flexible, so whenever there is new technology, new policy, people are more willing to learn it. The strategic approach allows organization to adapt more effectively to changes in the market, which happens constantly because change is the only constant. Technology and industry. It minimizes cost, right? Proper workforce management through a strategic plan can optimize utilization and reduce the expenses, right? So your profit will be much higher. Now, what are the core functions of strategic HRM? The core functions remain same as the traditional HRM, but the approach is different. You have to always keep the company's long-term and short-term goals in mind. So you are more aligned and you are working as a leader now. So whatever function an HR does, the basic functions remain the same with a more view and more view towards the strategies, right? So that it helps you achieve your goals. So number one is recruitment and selection. You know the whole employee life cycle process. If you have any doubt, you can always go back to the HR roles and responsibilities of an HR manager of our previous lecture, right? So from finding the talent pool to shortlisting the CV, to screening, to taking interviews, to checking the flexibility, how willing they are to learn about the company's culture, to giving them the offer letter and making them on board. But you have to see the strategy, how your recruitment is helping overall company strategy, right? Now you are more calculative so that every money spent is utilized in the best possible way. Then retention management, how you are reducing retention rate, how you are keeping your employees motivated, how you are planning their career maps, how connected they are to your organization. All these factors contribute towards lower retention rate. So as an HR, your goal is to minimize the retention rate for the company, right? Then succession planning. Once you are giving promotion to your employees who have been well trained, performing well, who is going to succeed them? And if somebody is leaving the company, you have always somebody who can fill that position quickly. So succession planning happens both from inside and outside. So you have to keep ready database of a talent pool of external people, external consultant, as well as you can always look for the potential employees who are ready to take on more responsibilities and perform better, right? And total reward. So As a strategic HR, we focus not only on job-based rewards or project-based rewards. What is the total rewards? How the employee is contributing towards the overall growth of the organization through their conduct, through their motivation, through their teamwork, through helping others, and obviously reaching their targets, right? And HR audits. Audits are very important to keep a track of database, because what all we are doing, whatever performance management is happening, everything is based on the data. So HR audits has to be done very, very sincerely. Think it as a helping tool rather than an additional work. Once your approach towards audit changes, audit becomes your best friend. Otherwise, it is like just a formality. But if your HR audit is right and done thoroughly, half of your employee related issues are going to be solved automatically. So HR audits is very, very important part of strategic HRM, right? And 360-degree feedback. What is 360-degree feedback? Where everybody is entitled to give feedback and listen to the feedback. Earlier in traditional roles, what happened? Manager used to give feedback. You are performing well, you are not performing well. But manager had no idea what his or her team members are thinking about me. So now in every performance appraisal, we have a column where we talk about our leaders, about our manager, how we are working with them, what we are learning, how they are treating everybody, how they are they treating everybody fairly, is there any partiality, do we feel valued, do I feel part of the team members, what my manager is doing to make better team bonding, and so on. So now everybody gets a feedback, so everybody is more vigilant and works accordingly. Now training is always an important part of HRM, and it becomes more important when it is strategic HRM, because market is changing, you need to learn every day. So how as an HR you are planning the schedule of your employees so that there is enough time to learn new skills, learn about AI, for example, learn about new GST rates if you are in a retail, and so on. And once better training is there, your succession planning becomes much more efficient. And then database performance management, right? If there is no measurable index, employees keep on working, they don't know what they are doing, are they achieving their goals, and so on. So performance management is these days are very, very transparent, where you know, okay, in these 3 areas I did good, in these 3 areas I need to improve, and the improvement plan, how I am going to be better in next quarter, next half year, or next year, and in long term. So strategic workforce planning. Now as a strategic HR manager, you need to plan your workforce strategically. So who is going to fit where in the best way, right? How they are going to contribute their best. So how do you plan your workforce? Whom you need to promote first? Whom I need to give additional role without creating additional pressure? How we are going to motivate a management trainee who has recently joined? How we are going to motivate someone who is working in our company for last few decades, right? So you have to plan all this strategically to create that balance where everybody feels the part of the team, everybody is contributing their best, and we all are achieving as a team. Last but not the least, employee value proposition, right? Your employees, how they feel about company, how they are contributing towards the company. So all this comes under strategic human resource management. So whatever we have learned as the roles and responsibilities of HRM, all this will come handy, but you need to align those functions and responsibilities with the strategic goals of the company. So now HR is very much in sync with the management team, who communicate regularly how to reach goals together, right? Let's explore further This is a very vast topic, so we'll be covering more about strategic human resource management in our next lecture. Now, talk to the HR team of your organization to understand how they apply strategic HRM process. Then you will learn more about specifics. What is the company's approach? What are the strategies of the company and how your HR team is aligning it with their team, right? And how that shift happened from the traditional HR role to the strategic HR role. And keep yourself in the shoes of your HR manager. How as an HR manager you will make strategic HRM part of your company. How you will do it, huh? What will be the benefits of your projects, right? Great. So we'll be learning more about strategic HRM in our next lecture. Now, we'll be learning more about HRM in our next lecture. Follow ITLS Academy on different social platforms and download our app on Google Play. So subscribe to our channel to continue your learning. Thank you for watching this video. Keep learning. Call us at our helpline for any doubts, and you can always comment on our comment section. See you soon. Have a nice day.